Well, we appreciate you jumping on here. As we go through this tasting and hearing a little bit about Happy Canyon Vineyard and some background, we'll probably give a couple shout outs to some people that are popping up here. I know that you might have some fellow wine club members, friends, family that are probably going to jump on here, and as do we. So we'll try to say hello to them. But if you could, for the viewers that have just jumped on, tell us a little bit of background about Happy Canyon Vineyard and how you got into this and the family dynamic that you guys have. We'd love to hear a little background.
Sure thing. Well, first and foremost, this is our family's property. My wife and I have the unbelievable pleasure and fortune to get to live here on our vineyards. And so that's kind of where it all starts. We started back in the late 1990s and 98, started planting our vineyards, completed most of the plantings in 2001, and made our first bottle of wine in 2003. I didn't really get involved till 2012.
Okay.
Trying to make a really long story short, I was in the pharmaceutical business for 15 plus years, but my wife and I decided that we wanted to raise our kids in a very special place. My daughter was going to go into kindergarten, and my son wasn't even 2 years old yet, and we made the decision to move up here. And she always said, we're going to go move to the St. Anne's Valley, Sean, and we're going to make some wine. We're going to be together, and we're going to live this beautiful life. And man, what a beautiful life it is. So I'm just super psyched.
Golden. I love it. I love it. It makes me appreciate the journey a little bit. We have some people that have jumped on here that obviously know you really well. Steve Langdon says, "We know the story. Let's get to the drinking."
Nice.
I love it. I love
he's
it.
a good college buddy of mine. What's up, Steve? I can't see who's joining in, so I'm super psyched that those guys are here. It's funny because Steve's one of the guys we have this kind of ongoing online poker game that on Thursday nights. So I said, hey, you guys, come join, drink some wine, and then, maybe I'll drink a little less and I can maybe beat him in poker this time. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Throw down a little bit later. That works out. I want to give a shout out to Gail, who is right now in Knoxville, Tennessee, drinking your Piocho right now. So I'm excited to hear that. So thanks,
My
Gail.
hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee, born and raised. Well, I guess technically I wasn't born there, but I moved there when I was super young. So
I love it.
Raised one of my favorite places in the world, Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome, Gail.
Beautiful.
Thanks for coming.
That's awesome. Sean, what are we drinking today?
We're going to drink 3 wines. We're going to start with our beautiful Piocho Rosé. So we jump right into it?
Nice. Awesome. There you go.
This is
it'll be backwards, but everybody gets it. They know.
Oh, good. I see it forward. So
yeah, exactly. Me too.
Yeah, I want to address the kind of color of this wine. So beautiful, so light. It's very, very kind of Provence inspired, but we made it with Cabernet Franc. So Cabernet Franc Rosé. The first thing I'd like to talk about is that this wine and the Cabernet Franc that goes into it comes from a vineyard that's named after my daughter, Gracie. We planted it many years ago. And what we did is we planted an own-rooted Massal of Cabernet Franc. Own-rooted means, we didn't use, we started from scratch, right? And we took 5 different clones from 4 different vineyards. We planted those in a random pattern, effectively creating our own clones called Massal, but I've named it after my daughter, Gracie. If somebody collects some budwood from that vineyard, goes and plants another vineyard, her legacy will live on. And just a beautiful family story to recognize that vineyard. And gosh darn it, I love Cabernet Franc, and it's the reason I made some rosé out of it.
I love that you're doing a Cabernet Franc rosé. We have yet to have one, I think ever. I think this is, well, on the tastings that we've been doing. This is very Provence influenced. I love that. Like when you said that right away and I smelled it, I was like, this has a little bit of like a nod to that region, which we love.
Yeah,
I
so
love
but it's not the typical grape varietals you'll find there.
Right, right.
You know, Cabernet Franc, but got a little special piece to it. We put in a bit of a Saignée of Merlot.
Okay.
You know, so when we're making the red wine and we're making Merlot, we take a Saignée or we technically bleed a little bit of that red wine off the top.
Cool.
And that's to concentrate the red wine. It's not necessarily to make rosé, but we don't want to throw it down the drain, so we throw it into our rosé tank. It plushens it up. So let's talk about the aromatics. I mean, it's got that beautiful kind of earthy strawberry, like light peach tones, and then that even on the nose, you get a little bit of that spiciness and verbiness of the Cabernet Franc. So lovely, lovely wine. I go around telling people, and I mean this with all my heart, and you know, I try to be humble about it, but I've been trying to make rosé since 2013, and this is the first time we've gotten to a place that what I wanted, right? I wanted this wine. I wanted it so bad, and I was never able to really accomplish that until this year. And so I just absolutely love this wine, and I'll tout it all day long. I hope you guys like it too.
Oh my gosh, I wish people could smell this, because when you said kind of that like earthy strawberry, it's very much a fresh picked strawberry, and you just kind of, you know, when you grab it and you rinse it off and then you taste it and you can still taste a little bit of the dirt, but this has more of the aromatics of that earth that you were talking about. So nailed that. That's amazing. This is awesome. Congrats on this. This is a well-made rosé. I like the
I'm honored. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And you know, on the palate, what you notice the first thing, super dry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just dry as bone.
Razor sharp acidity.
Nice. Yeah, and then but also very tart, and that tartness is something I absolutely love. Adds a lot of character and complexity to the wine. This is no normal rosé. I mean, this rosé, while it's a fun summertime drinking wine, it's pretty serious actually. It's got a lot of complexity, a lot of character. You know, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, we made about 240 cases of this wine, and we're about halfway through it, and it's not even summer yet. So,
gosh,
I know
be running out.
But I think it's me, right? I'm going around telling everybody it's the best rosé you could ever have. Now, but
I have to know, Sean, with having a family really involved in the wine process and the winery, obviously there's a lot of food and influence in how you guys approach wines. With this particular wine, kind of just give us kind of like a rundown of some dishes that you like to have with this, because I'm a foodie. I love kind of knowing a little bit about the, you know, from your perspective, what the inside scoop would be on this.
Okay, well, let's not take it too seriously. I'm sitting outside on this week I've been waiting for in Southern California for a while now.
Yeah.
Stunningly beautiful outside. So go sit outside, get some cheese, some spicy charcuterie, get some of those bigger aromatic cheeses, right?
Yeah.
And really, when you get the charcuterie in there, get some spicy stuff, man. And that tartness will pair well with that. I love it that way. You know, I'm still not, you know, I'm not drinking it for my meal. I'm drinking it with my appetizers pre-meal. Or I'm just, you know, sitting poolside, enjoying it and, you know, not thinking too much.
I love that. That's a great answer, because we get too caught up in the whole of, you know, this goes with this and this goes with that. But this is really, like what you're saying, go right for the apps. This could be the app. I mean, this is amazing. I see that a couple people said, oh my gosh, I know who this is. They said mac and cheese all day long. So, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. It's going to be something that's got to be a little gourmet mac and cheese, because I need a little like shaved truffle on there for this.
Yeah, I got to get my daughter on that. I mean, she's been the cook in this family since we've been home. I mean, I have to work out extra hard she's been baking these cakes and cakes. So let's throw that in the mix too. Not just let's drink it for dessert.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Just drink it. How's that?
Yeah.
It's so good. So talk to me a little bit about the uniqueness of Happy Canyon as kind of the region that you're in, when you're looking at, you know, how you're growing the grapes, what's the climate? What's the terroir that you see every day being in the vineyard that makes Happy Canyon unique?
Well, Happy Canyon in general is on the easternmost edge of the San Ynez Valley. It's the warmest climate in the Santa Barbara coastal region. So I often call the Sauvignon Blancs. I didn't highlight a Sauvignon Blanc today, but the Sauvignon Blancs are kind of the rock star from the Happy Canyon.
Okay.
Not your typical kind of New Zealand, South African style Sauvignon Blanc. It's going to be a touch more fruity, maybe some touch more tropical fruit oriented rather than that kind of grapefruity grassiness. Now, still a little bit of those classic flavor profiles. But then you're going to really jump into the Bordeaux varietals, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and then we grow here a little bit of Petit Verdot and Malbec. So really centered on Bordeaux varietals here in the Happy Canyon.
That's perfect. We have a couple people that are giving you some mad shout out. You have some incredible fans and followers. I have to give a shout out to Heartluck. Heartluck says Sean Pitts is my favorite winemaker. Obviously.
That's pretty funny. Thanks, Gary. I don't know if he should say that in front of his wife, but we'll.
Well, we got two wolves watching too, I guess. So I don't know if they're in two different rooms watching. Happy Canyon brings the joy to the party. And someone asked, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I'm not even going to ask that. Can you grow Coors Light? Who is that? Mobley Mumbles.
I don't know.
How are you going to get there?
It's probably another one of my college buddies. Yeah.
Show us Hawk. What is this? You guys, you have some crazy fans out there, Sean. I'm excited to drink more with you.
They want to see my
Oh, I see. I like it.
That's the coronavirus clippers.
Dude,
they don't work anymore. So hey,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Got to show my fans a little style. I mean, I got the gray here.
Trying
to keep young up here. Trying to keep up with my 8-year-old son. So
seriously, don't be ashamed of it. Absolutely. Sport the hawk. Grow the hair out. Whatever it takes, my friend. Talk to me a little bit about the name Piocho, because I think I had a couple people earlier on social media ask about it, and I said you got to wait to hear the story because it has to come from Sean himself. So talk to us a little bit about the background of the name.
Oh, thank you for the question, because this is one of my favorite things to talk about as well.
Sure.
Piocho at the end of the day has nothing to do with wine.
Right.
It is the historical name of our property. It was the gentleman that lived here in the 1960s gave it the name that the ranch we live on, Rancho Piocho. And it is a Native American term. We live here in Chumash territory.
Okay.
So we have two beautiful creek riverbeds that run through our ranch. They kind of encapsulate the ranch, and they meet over on Highway 154. So those that you guys don't know Highway 154, it's a road that runs from San Ynez to Santa Barbara. And so Piocho in Native American means where the two rivers meet and go to heaven. So just a very beautiful story, representative of the history and the heritage of the land of where the wines were born.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love the nod to the Chumash. The territories and the First Nations, and I love that. That is awesome. Two rivers that go to heaven. Is that what that you were saying?
Yeah. The two rivers meet and go to heaven. We put it right on the back of the bottle. So when you get something, I know it's backwards, I guess, for you guys, but write the meaning right on the back. So
Cool.
Don't have to remember the story. Just remember we write it on the label and tell your friends.
I love it. This is an amazing wine. It sounds like a lot of people are really enjoying it. And it sounds like they finished the bottle by the looks of all the comments. So nice, you guys. Keep it going. This is the funniest comment thread we've seen this entire time. This is awesome. I drink so much Happy Canyon wine during quarantine. I have a Piocho paunch. That's nice. I love it. Sean, what else are we drinking today? I want to get to some reds here. What else you got going?
Let's do it. I'm gonna switch my glass here, do it proper up. All right. My So this wine literally just released it. Hadn't planned to release it, but then you know, things change, the world changes,
Right.
and I want to give my customers something fresh and something new.
Yeah.
So went out with our spring wine club. It's I gotta bring it over here. So this is our 2017
Wow.
Piocho Patrón.
Okay.
Start with a little bit of the story, and it's a testament to the history of this wine. But it is a Patrón is a Spanish word meaning leader or boss in Spanish, and we play a little bit of polo here on our ranch. So my father-in-law, my brother-in-law are very passionate polo players. So it's also kind of an ode to the polo world, in that the leader of the polo team is called a Patrón. So this wine, I give it this name because it is our vineyard leader. It is a true vineyard blend. So year after year, the blend depends on the vintage conditions, and we take the best aspects from what comes from our vineyard. So every year we get different qualities, different yields within the vineyard.
Okay.
So I take the best aspects of those and I make a blend. So one year it could be Cabernet, the next year it could be Merlot. Not going to be Cabernet Franc, just don't have enough grapes right now because I do another Cabernet Franc wine. But usually predominantly Cabernet, Merlot. Luckily enough, this wine, 2017, basically equal parts Cabernet, equal parts Merlot. You're looking at 30+% of each of those. Got a healthy amount of Cabernet Franc in there, and then you're looking at about 15% Malbec and just a touch of Petit Verdot.
I was just going to ask, like, Petit Verdot, you know, for every region that grows like Bordeaux varieties, you know, Petit Verdot acts differently. So what does Petit Verdot do that you only need just a little scotch of it for this blend? I'm curious.
Well, you know, Petit Verdot is a big, highly structured, or results in a big, highly structured wine. So lot of tannins. You know, it's one of those things that they you know, drink a Petit Verdot, straight up Petit Verdot. They say it takes the enamel off your teeth, right? It's big and full. So our wines are, you know, my wines, you know, have a little bit of restraint. You know, I like elegance. I like character. So, you know, it's a bit analogy like to a little bit of salt and pepper on your food. It adds to the wine or adds to the food, but too much of it starts to take away. So, I mean, we add a little, as you put, scotch. And adds a lot of deep depth in the color. But that comes from the other guy. I mean, this wine, like, oh, freak, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's got a lot to offer because it's not. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, I'm the kind of guy that, you know, okay, fine, I'm gonna look at like the label and stuff, but when it gets in the glass, this is very restrained and soft and silky and smooth. It was super deceiving because the color was like so vibrant and it looked like it was just gonna, like, you know, rip me, you know. But when you go right in for it, this is actually incredibly soft and very, very silky, very deceitful. Which I like.
The fruitiness, the brightness of this wine is what I'm loving right now. It's super, super bright. You know, I mean, it's more blue and like black cherry fruit notes, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, you start to get into a little bit of those fun characteristics of cedar and clove. Wow. There's so much complexity.
Little holiday spice in there too. I love this. This is nice. Talk to me a little bit about the year 2017. Was this the kind of the big rain year, or was this still, we were still talking about dryness a little bit? This 2017
you know,
rainy year, right?
Yeah, that's when the rain started coming back. You know, in the early part of the year, I think it was even January, we had that big deluge. You know, it was. I think it rained 9+ inches in 2 days or something like that.
Wow.
You know, I might get my facts wrong, but those of you guys who live in Southern California and Santa Barbara, you'll remember. So we had been in a 5-year drought basically, and then the rains came back all at once and weren't spaced too much. So from a vineyard perspective, it was actually quite good, right? I mean, you really cleanse that vineyard. You know, you wash all those salts out of the vineyard. So revives the vineyard. I loved 2017. And, you know, then you have your classic Santa Barbara summertime. One of the most predictable climates in the world, you know, warm summer days, cool nights. You know, if I remember correctly, certainly every harvest we're going to have some heat spikes, nothing too dangerous, but happens every year. So we got to be very careful when we pick. You know, I like to think we're pros at it now. I know what I'm going for. I got my, you know, box of things I look at, but nothing compares to just jumping out in the vineyard, tasting the fruit, not worrying about it too much. And this wine is a reflection of our vineyard, right? It's a reflection of what our vineyard can do. And, you know, we have these mature vines, you know, close to 20 years old now. And that makes me super happy.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a random question, because someone asked this earlier on social media before we went live. They're talking about how Happy Canyon had kind of a little bit of a thumbprint on Prohibition back in the day. Do you know anything about that and what that was about?
Yeah. So, well, this is a legend. I've not verified it. So,
okay.
But you know, back during the Prohibition era, you know, legend has it they were making some moonshine up here. Relate to that. I'm from Tennessee, so you know, got a lot of folks back there making some moonshine.
Sometimes you gotta make some moonshine. Sometimes
I gotta make some moonshine. This stuff's good, man. We should drink it every day. Anyways, legend has it they were making some moonshine up here in the Happy Canyon. So the folks from Santa Barbara would come up, and this is the place they would get happy. So it got the name the Happy Canyon. And
I had no idea.
Yeah, the true story is, I mean, hopefully that's a true story, but the name of the road that runs through here is called Happy Canyon Road.
That makes more sense.
It got the name of Prohibition eras, and I mean, who knows? Maybe people are still making moonshine back there.
Seriously, I know we're coming up to like the 100-year anniversary of the repeal, so I'm thinking I might have to make a little trip up to Happy Canyon just for the old time's sake.
Well, not much has changed. We're still making booze up here.
That's true. I know. There seems to be a little bit lax on and right now, anyways, the feds are kind of taking a break until this whole COVID thing kind of calms down. Don't quote me, but I hope that it kind of opens up some eyes a little bit for all of alcohol and restaurant industry. Speaking of, I know that you guys have a little bit of placement out in the market. You guys work with different restaurants and different markets in LA specifically, and there's going to be a lot of people from LA that are watching this. So is there a place that you would recommend finding these wines in any of the restaurants, or do you have any recommendations for us?
Sure thing. I mean, a little slow in that department now. I mean, restaurants aren't really open, but you can pick up wines. The biggest kind of place in LA for us would be Wally's Wines. I did a couple of tastings there last year.
Nice.
They've been great to us. Really love those guys. I'm very honored. They tell me they love the wines and they keep carrying them, and a lot of people are buying them there. So in the greater Los Angeles area, that's probably they will always have our wines in stock. Now, having said that, most of our wines are not available in that marketplace. But we do the Rosé, the Sauvignon Blanc, and then our kind of, not the Piocho Patrón, so our classic Piocho red blend, the red blend, certainly available there. Great value, amazing wine. Of course, I'm the winemaker. I'm got to tout my own wines, but
you got to do it. You got to do it. I'm going to give a quick shout out to some people that are blowing up again. I've never seen this many comments on a live feed. And everyone that's watching's got like, wow, he must be a noob. But honestly, this is hilarious. Sean is my favorite bootlegger. Oh my God, he's gonna get out, Sean. I'm serious. What do we got here? We got some people. Someone said, give a shout out to a pair of cuties. I don't know what that means. Pair of cuties.
Maybe they're my kids. I got to go find them. Hey, kids.
How about expanding to
Requested
restaurants
to
in
see
North Carolina? Someone's asking about restaurants abroad outside of California. You know, once this whole thing kind of lightens up a little bit and people are going back to restaurants, are you guys outside of California and distributing, or?
Just to, as you put it before, just a skosh.
A skosh.
We're working on it. We're working really hard, but not really. But
Right.
there are places out there in the world that you could find it. But you know what? Call me up. I'll hook you up with some wine. You know, and we'll take great care of you guys out there wanting to purchase some of our wines or see some of our wines. Not really outside of California to a great extent, but hopefully in the future.
That's great. Yeah, call direct, order direct. That's the big way to do it. That's how we like to do it. Let's keep going. This Piocho Patrón is I'm gonna be coming back to this one. I think this one right now is kind of calling my name. And I say that there's always one in a tasting that I always come back to, and Sonia that watches and moderates watches me take the bottle and hide in a corner, and this will probably be the one that I'm probably shamelessly going to say that out loud. But let's keep going. For sake of time, I want to be respectful of your time. But what else we got on the docket here? I see another wine here.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna. We used to play a little game in college called Pass and Pound. So if my college buddies got a drink in their hand, they have to pound it.
There's a few
Pass
of
and
them
pound
on
the
here.
game. It's not a game.
I like it.
All right.
This is good.
Super excited. This,
Okay.
I absolutely love this wine. This is our Barrack family estate 10 gold. This is kind of what I term as our high-end luxury Cabernet.
Okay.
So it comes from the best vineyard site on our property. That vineyard was planted by my father-in-law the year my wife and I were married. So we named after her. We call it Jody's Block, and
Like it.
It'll all come together. But this is a very, very special vineyard. It's got a very steep hillside where we use a head train vine. A head train vine is like a little palm tree. It's you got 360-degree fruit, and that hillside is so steep you can't get a tractor. So it's a 100% hand done, fully organic and sustainably farmed. So just a really highlight for us here, and really one of the most interesting vineyards I would think in the Happy Canyon, if not all of the San Ynez Valley. And in my humbly 100% biased opinion, certainly the best Cabernet that you can get here in the San Ynez Valley. Now, there's a lot of winemakers out there that would argue with me, so I will happily take on that debate. But a very, very special vineyard. So we take those grapes and we take them back to our winery, and I actually ferment them in old French oak barrels. So I'll take a 10-year-old barrel, flip it on its side, take the top off. It's all open top fermentations, and we're going to ferment it in those barrels. We use a few of them, and it's a cooler, a bit gentler fermentation.
Yeah.
So I like to think it brings a little bit more elegance to the wine. Once that fermentation is done, we're going to put in all new Terranso T5 French oak barrels. These are some of the finest quality Bordeaux barrels you can purchase. 5 cents of the wood comes from 5 different French oak forests, so you can literally see the different colors, different grains of the oak wood and the staves of the barrel. We've matured in those barrels for 2 years. All of our wines are blends. That's how we specialize. So we blend it up with all 4 other principal Bordeaux varietals. And we typically leave it in the bottle for another couple of years before we're going to release it for sale. Super, super low production. So we actually number the back label. So this one is bottle number 296 of only 2,640 made. So
I got a little bit further on in the thing. I got 1411, but that's not lost on me. I love that kind of stuff. There's people that want number 1, number 2 bottles, and they'll try to find it too. You know what I mean? I love that kind of stuff. That's so cool. I like that. I love it.
Super special.
Yeah. The Jody's Block Cabernet that is head trained, and I think I'm getting this right, that's head trained, do you ferment those separately in those open tops, like kind of the barrels that you were talking about, where you put them on the side, you do the open top? Do you do that separately, or do you do that with all the different components?
No, we're gonna ferment everything in lots, in their own lots, and blend. You know, every year I blend differently depending on what's happening with the wines. Some years we'll blend a year into aging, and sometimes we'll blend it, you know, a few months before bottling. So it just depends on what's happening with the wine, how I choose to take care of it, and assemble the blend. But it's different every year. That's the beautiful thing about wine, the creativity that's involved, the artwork that's involved, and, you know, a lot of science and a lot of art. And we get the opportunity to make these beautiful wines in it. And so that's what we do.
I have to ask a selfish question, because I can only imagine when you go to blending this final product, there has to be a bunch of different trial blends that you've been working with. How many of those trial blends do you think that you have before you make the decision that this is it?
Well, that certainly varies.
Sure.
It's a bit of a complicated process. I have a degree in engineering, so I take a very engineering approach to it. I use a very complicated Excel spreadsheet, and I sort of assemble everything on an Excel spreadsheet, and at least that gives me a starting point, right? So there's a lot of winemakers that I've talked to that do it very differently. They're complete artists. You know, you have winemakers out there that start blending things and they just write on the barrels and say, I want it for this wine, that wine. But me, you know, a little bit of an engineering approach to it. And then we'll start that starting blend. And then, you know, if it's too highly structured Cabernet, then I'll add a little bit of plushness with the Merlot, or I need a little bit more depth. You know, maybe some Petit Verdot, a little bit more Petit Verdot, and those kind of things. I would say that there's, in any given vintage, I do 6 to 10 iterations before we get to the final blend. Very early on, when I didn't know what I was doing, I would stress, and I'd be like, man, I don't know what I was doing, or my folks going to like this, you know, our customers going to like this. I don't stress anymore, because we have these beautiful vineyards. They produce what we need, and it truly is all about the vineyard. So you can't really F it up. Yeah, totally.
Well, that being said, I want to ask you another question about that came across on social media. So thank you for that question. Has there been any surprises that have caught you off guard, that you're just like, wow, I did not see that coming in all of, you know, vineyard planting, or, you know, winemaking, any of those things? Was there been any surprises that you look back and you're like, wow, we dodged a bullet?
Shoot, that's a bit of a tough question.
That's not my question.
I'll just say we don't dodge bullets around here, right? We're all about excellence and quality.
That's good.
And, you know, I'm not going to say I haven't messed up, right? I talked a little bit about the Rosé, and I couldn't get what I was trying to do. There was years in there where I said, this Rosé is terrible. Nobody's going to like it. I totally effed it up. Right. But, you know, people still love it. So I guess I'm humbled. I'm honored. But I don't know if it's about dodging bullets, or, you know, I maybe am comfortable in my own shoes now as a winemaker. But yeah,
this is good. Andy Kiefer wants to just let you know to not tell any insider trading info secrets on your winemaking, to keep it close to the chest, and also said, you know, that we catch bullets in our teeth. So I like that. That was a good answer.
There we go.
Very good.
All right, I love you, Andy. Thanks, buddy.
And we'll let everybody read the comment feed, because it's hilarious. I'm going to download this comment feed and look at it tonight, because it is one of the most funniest feeds we've seen in a long time, in a good way. It's super entertaining. I can tell your friends love you, your friends support you, they follow you. And that being said, that's a great segue to find out, for those that are really wanting to get these wines, what is the best way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, the best and easiest way is to just go to our website. It's happycanyonvineyard.com. Once you know, California opens back up, we do have a tasting room in Santa Barbara. So go there. You can try all of our wines. We do private tastings here on our ranch and vineyard. Wonderful, wonderful time. Just give me a call. All the phone numbers and everything are on our website. But it really, like probably for everybody else, starts on our website. Go there, get all the information. Call us, and we're going to take great care of you.
I love it. I love it. Well, you're making me a believer of this being one of the better Cabernets, if not the best Cabernet I've had in Santa Barbara. And I don't say that lightly. I know that Sonia's looking at me and she's like, "Holy crap!" 10 Goal is changing my life right now. So
well, tell Sonia I miss her, and I haven't seen her in a while. What a amazing winemaker over there too. So
for sure. So we will for sure. And then I also wanted to give a thank you to you for touring us around a couple months ago. Thank you so much for doing that. The property's incredible. If people want to come and visit the property after this whole thing blows over, is that something that they are able to do? Is come and taste with you or come to the property?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Just, you know, go to our website. There's a phone number you can call. Send me an email. I would be honored, and I would love to have you come visit me. Depending on what we do, what the day is like, we'll take a tour of our vineyard. We'll sit down, and we have a couple different locations on our property where we can sit down, taste some wines, talk about them. It's all, well, we don't do tasting fees here, so we just kindly request that you purchase some wine, and it's sort of that exchange. If we're running to the end, though, I got to get my wife because I want to talk about the meaning of 10 Goal.
Let's do it.
To our fans out there. I got to get her.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, let's find her. Jody!
This is by far one of my favorite tastings. I'm literally reading this and I'm laughing. I'm like, Carrie Ann, great to see you on here. Hilarious. You guys. Mobley Mumbles.
All right, she's coming. She's in the kitchen making soup.
I like
it. This is great. She's making soup for the seniors out there that need a little help. So God bless her. Here she is.
You guys are the best.
My beautiful wife.
Jody. Thank you so much for sharing the wines. These wines are amazing. So thank you so much for sharing.
That's all him. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and so the reason I had Jody here because I want to talk about this wine and the meaning, and I love this story, and that's why I like to talk about it. But this is our Barrack family estate 10 Goal.
Okay.
10 Goal is a polo term.
Okay.
All polo players are rated by goals. 10 goals is the highest rating you can attain. It's considered perfect in the polo world. Wow. So if you remember, we call this block after Jody.
Yep.
I consider her perfect. It's all very serendipitous, and it all runs together. And I am a very, very lucky guy. And she puts up with me when I start to act like an 8-year-old playing with my son. So I wanted to honor her a little bit and everything she does for us here at our vineyard and our winery, and supports me every single day, even when I'm
really being nice.
Oh, I love you.
This is good. This is exactly what people need to see. They need to see this human aspect of people getting together, the dynamics of family winemaking. And it takes a lot, you guys. It takes a lot of, like, you know, a little bit of compromise, a little bit of negotiation to make wine, especially in a family environment. I've worked for family wineries, and it is not easy. So I love that you guys are transparent and showing us this, because people need to see this, in my opinion. They need to see what Santa Barbara's all about.
She is beautiful. Look at me. I mean, so look at my daughter. There's my daughter, Gracie.
Hi, Gracie.
Helping mom cook that soup. So
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, I appreciate that the family. It's literally an army that brings us all together, and it sounds like you guys are doing some amazing things for the community as well. So good on you guys. Congratulations. We love that you guys are rocking it in Santa Barbara, holding down the fort in Happy Canyon. the namesake, Happy Canyon Vineyard. We love you guys. And you guys have incredible fans and followers. We've been watching the comment feed, and it just keeps like going. It's like you guys have a fan club. I don't know if you're paying them to go on there to comment.
All right. We love you. Thank you.
Love you guys.
So much.
Thank you. This has been super, super fun. Hey, you know what? I'm going to give my fans, go be awesome today. Drink some wines. And I'll see you guys on the other side of this. You need anything from me, just give me a call.
Hey, Sean, one quick question for you.
Sure.
I know we already told people how to get the wines, and you have some promotions going on. Is there anything else you want to like tell us about that, or did you want to kind of give us a kind of a little sneak preview or a little kind of a heads up on some of the promos that you guys got going online?
Sure, yeah. Well, now's the time to order wine. So because of the coronavirus, right, our tasting room is closed. So we're trying to get through this. And so we're offering some great promotions right now. 10% off on all wines. We give you complimentary shipping when you purchase only 6 wines. And then every order, no matter what, I'm going to throw in a hat for you. So,
I love it.
Yeah, so just make an order, you get a hat. And
somebody was asking about that hat earlier. They wanted a little bit of the action on the hat. Get some threads. I like it.
All right. Well, order some wine or give me a call, and I'll take care of you.
So last question that we ask everybody is, we know that we're all in this together. If there was one person that you could toast after this whole thing blows over in person, who would it be? Who would be the one person that you'd like to toast? Could be a family member, friend, anybody, winemaker.
Every night that I go to bed, I say a little prayer with my kids, right? And we pray for our family, and we pray for our friends. So I'm gonna toast every single one of my family members, my mom and my stepdad in Tennessee, my dad and my stepmom in Colorado, my sister and brother-in-law in Colorado, and then all my college buddies who are my poker playing partners in the world, and then my friends here in the San Ynez Valley. I mean, we're such a close-knit tight group. I miss them. I miss every single one of them, and
wow,
I can't wait to give them a hug. My buddy Kerry, who said I was the best winemaker, I give those guys a hug, the Two World Wines, and there's a guy on here, I saw him pop up, Golden Bear, Andy Keeper, love that guy. All y'all out there,
they're all wonderful.
I can't wait to cheers you and hug you, and that's what I want to do.
I've never seen this much love before, Sean, on anything like this. So I can feel that coming from you, and it sounds like everybody's really there to support you too. And sounds like I want to be friends with your friends too, by the way. They sound warm, hilarious, and obviously supportive. So cheers to you.
Every single one of my friends is kick ass, and I love them, and we have a great time. And and we've been doing some of those virtual happy hours and things, but man, cool. I miss everybody so much. I just miss them.
Well, this is good. I'm excited for that moment that you'll be able to toast them in person. And this is from us at Santa Barbara Vintners Association and you, Sean. Thank you so much for jumping in on this. It's been a lot of fun and a riot to be able to taste with you. These wines kick ass. They're incredible. I'm excited to taste more of them. And your generosity is through the roof amazing. So thank you so much for all that you're doing. Cheers.
What a pleasure. What an honor. Thank you for putting this together. I support Santa Barbara County. So I'm going to start listening on these things too, man. What a fun time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean. Take care of your family and our best to you. Thank you. Cheers.
All right.
Thanks, my friend.